Today, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Johan, and I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions. Johan, welcome to
No, thank you very much.
the Chill Squirrel Show.
Get a sign, yeah.
So today, I'd like to ask you what inspired you to, or what encouraged you, or made you decide to get an e-bike?
Okay, I think just to put perspective, if you look at me, I am double the size of normal beings, okay? And that brings in a complexity. So everything that, if I go and buy shoes, I need to get the size 15, and there's only like one place in the world I can get that. When I want a bike, I have to make my bike. They have to build it, okay? And the reason is because of my length, my weight, and what goes with it. So that has been the story of my life for many years. But and I've always overcome it. Okay? The reality is, with the size, ended up in a situation where, for example, my knees picked up. But that's a combination of sport and the work that I've done, working in deep level mines for many, many years and crawling on my knees for the first 15. I think what made me go to e-biking and specifically Chill Squirrel is the sign. The sign that says, if you can read this sign, you are lost. This is the sign that I had on my bike when I didn't have an electric motor. So I knew how it felt to actually come into the stadium when they're busy packing up or when the prize giving is being done. They never waited for me. And very few people actually read that, like the August. I mean, everyone's gone, and then I was like strolling. And that was a combination of obviously not being well enough, fit enough. I used to live in Gauteng where there's some hills, but not much. Now I live in the Cape. And in the peninsula, you are always confronted with hills. Now, me and my heart, when I see a hill, goes like, no, I go to a standstill, and I would evidently stop on every hill. Eventually, cycling was not fun. I had my bike, which was built for me, and I then started inquiring. And I first went to, let's call it, the e-bike specialists, and everyone, it was a huge cost and struggle to get them to make a bike for me. And then what happened is, obviously met you guys, and you said, you can do a conversion. I brought in my bike, and you said, ideally suited, and I actually had my bike
That was
converted.
actually going to be my second question: is why did you decide to convert your bike? So was it because you already had a bike that was the right size for you, and did it just make sense, or were there other reasons why you decided to
So,
convert?
it was not a costing, okay? Well, it was a costing because a normal just bike was at that stage much more expensive than just having a adaptation done.
It's kind of like above what your budget. What you
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to do.
absolutely. So, and my bike worked for me, except that I could only, if I did not have my motor on, I call it a motor, my e-bike motor on,
You're right.
I could only do about an hour of flat riding, and that is limited. And I have to go to Melkbos to go and do that if I wanted a flat portion. With the e-biking and with the motor, I immediately, if I say immediately, I very quickly got to a stage where I could cycle for 3 hours across the peninsula.
Wow.
The steepest hills, the winelands. I mean, my favorite ride is Chapman's. I mean, I do Chapman's 3 and 4 times a week. Why? Because my e-bike allows me to do that, and I would previously not have done that. And I have to say something to you. It's not the motor that is doing the work. Efficiency is very important to me. So if I am finished with a 3 hour ride, it is very important for me to see how much energy I still have left.
Right.
And so the e-bike makes it
So you try
easier,
to sort of like save
and
as much as you can.
absolutely. Because why?
You're
I would
doing
like to
more
do.
work.
I would like to do 4 hours on my bike. So for me, it was a great experience to learn how the motor and my energy actually gave me the best return. No, low power, high revolutions,
And you've
and
got to
whatever,
literally do the work, the cardio.
exactly. So I now, and I mean before my operation, I
Well,
actually
that's that I wanted to ask
okay.
you about, because no one knows you had an operation, but you just mentioned it now. But tell us about the operation, and did cycling actually help? Did cycling pre-operation, did that help in any way with
Okay.
your operation?
So, well, evidently yes, but my medical team, that was a brilliant team that helped me through this. I had a quadruple bypass on the 2nd of November, and I was actually preparing to do the Robben Island Bloberg swim, which is a 7K swim through the sea.
Right.
But I had a combination of running, walking, cycling, and obviously swimming. And
The triathlon.
the triathlon disciplines. And what happened is the endurance that the bike allowed me to get actually strengthened my heart. So in my program, which I had a coach that was coaching me, we actually pushed my endurance with the bike. We did it in the water as well, but with a bike. And the e-bike allowed me to actually push my heart rate high, drop it to the normal level, and work through that cycle. So the e-biking actually made me much fitter. Matter of fact, in a 5 month period, my fitness levels, according to Strava, actually went up about 7 times.
Wow.
Okay, and
That is incredible.
and that's based on work rate and heart rate. Okay, and I
Were
was
you doing any other were you swimming also?
so I was swimming.
Yeah.
So I did cycling 3 days a week. I did swimming 3 days a week, and I walk twice a week. Okay, and the run walk was, so that's where my problem was. Every time I started running, walking, I got a back pain, which masked my breast pain. But I only got it in the first 500 meters of what happened to me. And then what happened is I had to go and stand still, breathe, and what's on now. And this happened for about 7 months. And then one day, when it happened, and it only happens for the first 500 meters. And after that, I could run, walk for 10 Ks and nothing would happen. And it happened to me, and I turned around at 200 meters, went to my doctor, and he said, "We have a problem." And from the Monday to the Thursday when my operation was, that is how critical it was. So I didn't have, except for this continuous pain. And they operated me. Thankfully, the medical team saw the urgency of that, and they actually did that. Now, it's now 4 months later,
Right.
and I am now ready to get back onto my bike again. I'm with a biokineticist, and my conditioning is at another level. My whole medical team says that if it was not for that training, I would not have been able to react to the operation the way that I have. I had 3 guys that were done at the same time as I am, and they aren't close to the recovery that I am. And the reference is because of the way that you actually trained. And the e-bike
operation, they didn't do enough cardio.
Yeah. And I didn't know I'm going to have operation. So the truth be told is that the e-bike allowed me much more training time. So just think about this: 40 minutes of pain and suffering without a motor, to 3 hours of pain and suffering with a motor. Right. I call it pain and suffering, but that is the way that it actually ended up. And
well,
that
I can tell you, Johan looks. When he walked in this morning, the staff, the team came over and said, "You're looking so much better. You know, your face, you're looking healthier. It's just incredible." So obviously the operation has helped, but also the pre-exercise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No. And are you still e-biking now?
So no, my program is I'm actually, today is, we're in the middle of February and March.
March, yeah.
In 10 days' time, the program says I can start back on my bike. And the reason is because they don't, so it's not about the bike, it is about the vibration on your chest bone, which needs to actually grow back together properly.
To
Okay.
strengthen,
Yeah. So they worried that that would actually crack the where they actually opened my chest. Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
So thank you,
Really
and thanks
appreciate
for
it. Yeah.
no speaking to me, and it's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing a few more guys on e-bikes, and if you read the sign, then it's probably on another bike. It's actually fun to be in the front 25% and not at the back.
100%. So the August next year, the Cape Cycle Tour.
Yeah, I will definitely do it again.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. And I hope that Johan's story inspires other people that are unhealthy, that have an unhealthy lifestyle. You know, it gives you a chance to not just hit a wall. You know, you have a bike, but you are unable to get up those hills. You feel frustrated, but you just need that little bit of a push. And I hope that Johan's story will inspire others to consider converting their bike and starting a whole new life. Thank you.
Thank you.